Florida's gubernatorial race is heating up, and a survey reveals the impact of an endorsement from the president.
President Trump's endorsement is the gold standard.
Who's in the lead, according to the polls? A push for safety on Florida's college campuses.
We also had a couple of summits led by FSU and other leaders where they focused on what can we do as a university system to really prevent and prepare for, tragedies like what happened last year.
The bill that would arm some individuals with concealed handguns. A grand jury investigating into Hope, Florida, now winding down.
Taxpayer funds are not supposed to be used for political purposes.
The report just released and why we don't yet know what's in it.
This is your Fox 49 News at 10.
Good evening. A new poll is testing how much President Trump's endorsement can move voters in Florida's Republican race for governor and how much money and momentum may already be shaping the field. Fox 49's Nick Carmia reports the numbers suggest a front runner, but not necessarily a finished race.
A new survey shows Byron Donalds with a significant early advantage, but it's what happens after voters hear about President Donald Trump's endorsement that's raising eyebrows.
When voters are simply asked who they support, Donalds receives 44%, far ahead of James Fishback with 5% and Jay Collins with 4%. No other Republican breaks out of single digits. When voters are told Donalds has President Trump's endorsement, his support jumps 18 points to 62%. Florida GOP Chairman Evan Power says that kind of swing shows just how much weight the president still carries.
President Trump's endorsement is the gold standard.
Power points to 2018 when Trump's backing helped shift the governor's race toward Ron DeSantis. But polls testing an endorsement effect are one thing. Locking down a primary months before voting begins is another. And Donalds isn't declaring the race over.
We feel we're in a very good position. There's still a lot of work to do. I'll tell you, there is nothing quite like having President Trump's support.
Donalds also holds a financial advantage. Campaign finance reports show he has raised $45 million, far outpacing opponents. But the same poll shows Republican voters ranking property taxes and homeowners insurance among their top concerns, ahead of supporting the president's agenda. That signals the campaign may soon shift from who has power to who has policy.
With months until the August primary, the bigger question is whether this becomes a race about proximity to Trump or about the performance of Florida's economy. In Tallahassee, Nick Carmia, your Fox 49 News.
The poll was conducted among likely Republican primary voters. It's been nearly a year since a deadly mass shooting at Florida State University. 2 people were killed, 6 others injured when a gunman opened fire. And now a new push for a safety measure on college campuses is moving through the House. The Armor Act would expand a program allowing trained school staff and security guards to carry concealed weapons on college and university campuses. Tanner Stewart reports what this program could soon look like as it now heads to the Senate.
State Representative Michelle Salzman wasn't far from Florida State University when a gunman opened fire on campus last April. Salzman, a recent graduate of FSU, says the Armor Act was driven by fear of vulnerability on college and university campuses.
We know that to be true. That's why they choose our college campuses, because they know they're vulnerable.
83 yeas, 25 nays, Mr. Speaker.
Sure, the bill passes. The bill was approved on Thursday in the House. Salzman says it's received ample support. She believes it could land on the governor's desk by next week.
This bill is bipartisan. It's not down party line. It really is about just making higher education safety a primary focus for Florida.
House Bill 757 is an expansion of the Marjorie Stone Douglas Act. If passed, institutions that opt into the program will have to pass a background check and interview. Once approved, grant funding will allow schools to fund their applicants' training through the local sheriff's office. It also requires schools annually update their reunification plans. Salzman says there's not a single state with a statewide action plan like this.
We also had a couple of summits led by FSU and other leaders where they focused on what can we do as a university system to really prevent and prepare for, tragedies like what happened last year. And
Democratic leaders at the Capitol raised concerns about whether enrolled students would be allowed to apply for the program. Right now, the only ones on campus permitted to apply are faculty and employees. The 43-page bill also doubles down on student discipline. If a high school student who is dual enrolled is arrested for a violent or drug-related crime, they're requested to report that to the higher institution.
We just took everybody's suggestions and somehow we were able to put all of them in the bill. Like, there isn't a thing, I think, that we left off the table.
The big question that remains, how much the new program would cost. Salzman says the biggest cost in the legislation is the requirement to add locks to all classroom doors. With more than 1 million students enrolled across the state's public universities and colleges, Salzman says they're still evaluating the budget. Tanner Stewart, your Fox 49 News.
The bill passed in the House by a vote of 83 to 25. Representative Jason Schoaf voted in favor of the measure, while Representative Allison Tant voted against it. Representative Gallup Franklin II did not vote. And by the way, Franklin was elected as the House Democratic leader for the 2028 to 2030 legislative term. The grand jury investigation into alleged fraud connected to First Lady Casey DeSantis' welfare assistance initiative may be winding down. At the center of the panel's investigation is the transfer of $10 million from the nonprofit Hope Florida Foundation to a political action committee run by now Attorney General James Uthmeier. Tonight, a report has been filed, but we do not know the results. Here's Fox 49's Jayla Howard with our story.
Tonight, that document is sealed, so we don't know if there was any government misconduct related to a $10 million transfer of money to a PAC used to fight a marijuana bill. State Representative Alex Andrade claims that transfer was illegal, prompting the grand jury investigation. He went as far as to say it amounted to fraud and money laundering on the part of James Uthmeier. Government watchdog Ben Wilcox has been keeping a close eye on developments.
The allegations are that our state government crossed what should be a very bright line in that, taxpayer funds are not supposed to be used for political purposes.
We've learned the grand jury returned what is known as a presentment. That's an investigative report issued after the panel reviews evidence. Wilcox is the research director for Integrity Florida. He says because taxpayer dollars are at the center of the investigation, transparency is necessary.
I don't like it. I think this grand jury presentment should be made public so the public understands what happened here with this whole Hope Florida scandal.
I talked with Representative Andrade this afternoon, normally not shy about speaking out about the Hope Florida investigation. Today, he was more reserved, saying he didn't know what he could say legally. There is no timeline for when or if the grand jury's presentment will be made public. In Tallahassee, Jayla Howard, your Fox 49 News.
Now, just to reiterate, we do not know the findings of the grand jury report because it's sealed. A tow truck operator was honored for his heroic actions for preventing a catastrophic head-on collision on Interstate I-110. Meet the unlikely hero, James. He's a driver with Seacon Recovery Towing based right here in Tallahassee. On February 18th, James saw the driver heading down the wrong way on the interstate in Pensacola. He made a split-second decision to use his tow truck to block the driver and waited until Florida Highway Patrol arrived.
To prevent something from happening to somebody. I've been in the towing industry for about 12 years now, and I've done all sorts of calls and recoveries and accident cleanups and everything. And there are people, unfortunately, who don't make it home from an auto accident. And if that's something that's preventable to be done so everybody can get home safely, I feel that anybody should, step in to do the right thing to prevent something bad from happening.
The Florida Department of Transportation and FHP recognized James for his bravery, professionalism, and his life-saving actions.
First Warning Weather, sponsored by Stubbs Roofing and Gutters.
Looks like the rain seems to be on its way out, and we've got some good springtime weather coming in, Alan, right?
Yes, Melanie, I tell you, we've got a fantastic weekend ahead. Rain is out of the area. We're drying out. We've got pleasant conditions here throughout the weekend. Our temperatures right now still in the 60s, but overnight it's going to be cooling down a little bit more. We're going to have just a little gentle breeze, so that's going to bring our temperatures down into the 50s to kick things off tomorrow morning. I would also look out for a bit of fog to develop during the overnight hours of tomorrow morning. So if you have to be out the door first thing in the morning, you may be dealing with a little bit of foggy weather, but 50s to start, and then the weekend just fantastic, both Saturday and Sunday. Highs getting up into the 70s, quite spring-like for the area. A little bit warmer here on Sunday.
Former President Bill Clinton spent hours today answering lawmakers' questions on Jeffrey Epstein. The closed-door deposition took place in New York as part of the House committee's investigation into the convicted sex offender. In a written copy of his opening statement, Clinton says, quote, "I saw nothing and I did nothing wrong." He calls his acquaintance with the convicted sex offender brief and says it was years before Epstein's crimes came to light. Clinton is named in the Epstein files, but he's not accused of any wrongdoing.
Again, no one's accusing anyone of any wrongdoing, but I think the American people have a lot of questions.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton also faced House lawmakers yesterday. She denied having any knowledge of Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal activities.
We're looking to expand upon our vision to serve more kids within the Big Bend area, and that's where our Champions Ranch facility comes into play.
What the Boys and Girls Club needs from the community to continue serving the children who need it most. And a roundtable on college sports is calling for the help of 3 prominent Floridians. The biggest topic at hand and how President Trump is involved next.
You're watching your Fox 49 News at 10 with Melanie Levy and meteorologist Alan Strom.
Florida State trustees say they want 3 more years with the president of the university. On Wednesday, the board voted to extend President Richard McCullough's contract until 2029. This adds to his current contract, which expires this August. McCullough has been FSU's president since 2021, and according to the Florida Phoenix, since then, SAT scores and graduation rates have increased. The vote is now in the hands of the Board of Governors. 3 Floridians, including the governor and 2 Heisman Trophy winners, have been named to a panel looking at the future of college sports. President Trump has invited a list of top-notch sports commissioners, sports celebrities, and dignitaries to the White House for a March 6th roundtable. The goal is to discuss the current state of college athletics and to address some of the issues that plague the system, like regulating NIL. Governor Ron DeSantis, Florida State quarterback and basketball player Charlie Ward, as well as Florida Gators football quarterback Tim Tebow are a few of the 35 people who received invitations. Fox 49 will keep you posted on the College Sports Roundtable as more info becomes available. The Boys and Girls Club of the Big Bend is working towards building a new standalone facility in Tallahassee. Right now, it's operating out of 5 facilities throughout Leon County. The organization's CEO says it needs a centralized location to attract and serve more boys and girls after school and during the summer. Here's Fox 49's Courtney Dualaby.
Right now, this is just an empty lot, but soon will become a dedicated space to serve kids in Tallahassee. The proposed facility may still be in the planning stages, but Casey Dennis, the CEO and president of the Boys and Girls Club of the Big Bend, says the focus stays the same.
The mission of the Boys and Girls Club is to inspire and enable all young people, especially those who need us the most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens.
And that vision now has a home once funds are raised thanks to donated land from former Florida State Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward. Dennis says the organization needs to raise $6 million to build the facility on Capitol Circle. For the kids who walk through those doors, the impact is personal.
I was actually excited that a new place was opening and that we were expanding. And I was also happy that it'll be like in that area so that the kids in that area could have a safe place to go to after school and, you know, hang out with friends and, you know, get away from things that they may be going through at home.
Dennis says the goal is to expand that impact with hopes of serving an additional 1,000 kids in the new facility. The club already serves 2,500 youth in our area at its 5 locations.
We have a program in the 32304 zip code, which we all know is the poorest zip code in the state of Florida. So those kids truly need it the most. But we're looking to expand upon our vision to serve more kids within the Big Bend area. And that's where our Champions Ranch facility comes into play.
Right now, the focus is turning that vision into a permanent space for kids in our community. I'm Courtney DeWallaby, your Fox 49 News.
Now, the next step is raising funds needed to bring that facility to life, and we'll keep you posted on their fundraising efforts. The Capitol County Community Classic is coming up this weekend. The Leon County Sheriff's Office and local community partners are coming together for this basketball tournament for young male athletes. But the tournament is much more than just a game. It's also a chance for these young people to get to know the law enforcement in their communities and build connections with them. The event will be held this Saturday at the Tallahassee State College gym. Doors will open at noon. The 6 players on the winning team will take home $250 each. Everyone is welcome to attend and support these athletes.
First warning weather. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strong.
Yeah, good Friday evening to you as we check out radar. The rain is out of here and we've got a dry weekend ahead. Beautiful spring-like conditions around the area. It is going to be fantastic. And we've had this weather maker move through, but the winds are not going to be kicking in cold air from the north. We'll just have a gentle northerly flow rolling into the area. That's going to be about it. But now you can see really bulk of all that rain is headed on down toward other parts of Florida. Down towards central Florida is where we're seeing some of that. So Futurecast, this tells the story of a bit of foggy weather developing overnight and tomorrow morning. So you see a bit of this shading here around the area on our map. So look for some fog, and sometimes what we see is as the fog is lifting or burning off, we get a little bit of cloud cover. So during the first half of the day, don't be surprised if we do have some clouds in the skies after that morning fog, but definitely dry weather. And look here by the midday and afternoon hours, it'll be sunny, and the rest of the weekend certainly sunny. Just might have a little bit of cloud cover to start out tomorrow, and then right on into next week. It is also looking pretty clear in the skies. So our weather looks quite nice. So heading through tonight, a little cloud cover, a little fog overnight into tomorrow morning. Low temperatures will be dropping down into the middle 50s here. So it was pretty warm this morning, and now we've got just a slight cool down there. You see some of the cloud cover for the first part of the day tomorrow, and then as we roll through the day, more and more sun. So really right around lunchtime, clouds will be clearing out, and that'll help to warm things up too. So high temperatures tomorrow should run somewhere between about 70 and 75 degrees is what we're expecting there. So really looking pretty pleasant with our temperatures, and just a calm wind for the most part tomorrow as well. And then on Sunday with more sunshine, we're going to be warming things up even well into the 70s. We'll go with a high there of about 77 degrees on Sunday. So what a nice spring feeling weekend that we've got. Now next week, look at warm. I mean, this is warmer than normal with these highs running in the upper 70s to even low 80s. It's not until the end of the week that we'll start to look for a little bit of rain, but right now those rain chances are low. Here at the bottom you can see our normal high and low temperature for today, and then you could tell by looking at next week certainly that weather will be warmer than normal.
Get ready for a great car buying moment at Werner Hyundai, where confidence comes standard. From the sleek 2026 Hyundai Elantra to the agile Hyundai Tucson, the bold Hyundai Santa Fe, and the premium Hyundai Palisade. There's a Hyundai built for how you drive. It's even easier to trade in the Werner way with trade values up to $4,000 over Kelley Blue Book. If you've been waiting for the right time, this is it. Own your moment at Werner Hyundai.
Banana Ball is officially in full swing. Last night, the firefighters took on the Loco Beach Coconuts at a packed Dick Howser Stadium. Even the Tallahassee Fire Department got in on the fun by coming out to support the firefighters. The Coconuts ended up taking home the win, but the enjoyment didn't stop there. The games continued tonight at Dick Hauser, where the Indianapolis Clowns took on the Party Animals. But the big game is on Saturday with the Savannah Bananas and the Texas Tailgaters at Doak Campbell Stadium. Organizers do want attendees to know FSU game day policies will be in effect. An event that introduces local businesses to the community. What you need to know about this year's Black Business Expo. The 5th annual Black Business Expo is back this weekend. The networking event helps connect Black-owned businesses to the community. This expo will take place this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at The Moon on East Lafayette Street. Business owners can also enter for a chance to win a $15,000 grant. For more information, including how to get tickets, please visit the website listed on your screen. Preparations are underway at Florida A&M University for the Harambee Festival. This afternoon at the Will Packer Amphitheater, crews worked on putting together the stage for the FAMU Gospel Choir. Right there on your screen, that's video courtesy of FAMU from last year. Organizers say the Harambee Festival will feature entertainment, food trucks, vendors, and the event is free of charge and open to the general public. The Harambee Festival is this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
Rain is out in Melanie. This is my kind of weekend weather. Sunshine, beautiful conditions, highs in the 70s, pleasant temperatures. I will say tomorrow, though, look out for a bit of fog. And I think the first half of the day, we may be a little cloudy, but by the afternoon tomorrow, look for that sunshine and just feel good weather for the weekend.
Love it. I might fly a kite.
It's not
going to be windy, though? Okay,
no,
I'll just spend some time outside.
Yeah. We've had so much windy weather recently.
I know, I was used to it.
Yeah, we'll pick a different day.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Please come back and join us Monday.